Hey guys, doing something a little bit different today, but it still involves motors. I have my neighbor's lawnmower here. She let me borrow it because mine is currently down. The cable that operates the deck that turns it on and off broke on mine, so she let me borrow hers. Well, she's having an issue with hers as well. You go to start it, it's got a new battery in it, good starter. Figures it started the first time that time. It usually doesn't do that. Okay, well, normally this thing starts very hard. So what we're going to do is we're going to adjust the overhead valves on this because they get a little out of whack and the motor wants to turn, but then it'll turn real slow and act like the battery's dead or the starter's dragging or something like that. So what we're going to do is adjust these valves, and that's going to take that away, and this thing's going to turn over and start just like that every time. It's pretty simple. Start by removing the hood, which is as simple as unplugging the lights, and removing the hood. Alrighty, we got that to the side. Now what we're going to be doing is we're going to take this cover off of the overhead valve here, and we're also going to be pulling the spark plug because we need to get the motor on top dead center. I hope you all can hear me. So we'll be removing the spark plug, wow, that's got a lot of gas on it. Okay, I forgot to grab my screwdriver to check top dead center. So I will be right back. Alright, I'm back. To get top dead center in this, it's as easy as just turning the motor up here. Stick the screwdriver in the hole, turn the motor, you'll feel it going in. Now it's coming back up. Oh, right there is top dead center. Now we're going to remove the bolts for this overhead valve cover. I typically use my cordless impact for stuff like this. I don't know why I didn't grab it. Makes it much faster. And I'm probably not going to bother with any of the fancy editing on this video since it's just a quick, easy repair. Oh, look at that. The gasket stayed with it. Didn't tear or nothing. I didn't have to mess with it at all. That's beautiful. Love it. Okay. Now, that valve, they're actually not. They're usually very tight, and that's why it's hard to start. But these actually have a little bit of slack in them, and we're going for 5/1000ths, and we got a little bit too much there and a little too much there. So here's what we got to do. Need an Allen wrench and a 10mm. Sorry, my knee is still a little sore from my knee replacement, so getting up and down is a little tough for me. Let's see where we're at here. Should have a locking screw inside of this nut. Don't tell me that's loose. Maybe I just don't have the right size Allen, so we'll try a different one. There we go. Yep, that's what we wanted right there. Okay, crack these loose. And what we want to do is take our feeler gauge, and I'm going 5/1000ths of an inch. 4/1000ths of an inch is typically where they want it, but 5/1000ths does pretty well. So what we want to do, get our feeler gauge in there, and we're going to turn this nut until we get a little bit of resistance. Okay, I'm still sliding in and out. Now, without moving that nut, oh, and I grabbed the wrong size wrench. Wouldn't you know it? Should have been a 10mm, I thought, but I'm not always right, and I can admit that. Okay, we should have a more appropriate sized wrench here. Nope, one more up. I thought a 13 was going to do it. It needs a 14. With all these trips I'm making back and forth to grab tools, maybe I will have to edit. Nah. You guys can deal, right? I thought so. Okay, once again, let's just double check now. Okay, we got a pretty good, it's not too tight. Now this nut cannot move when we tighten the locking nut inside with the Allen wrench. So You gotta be flipping kidding me. Okay. Now I'm starting to get annoyed. Now, typically I would have grabbed a handful of wrenches just to make sure I had the right one, but I'll be dipped. Must be a 16, that's crazy. Holy, working up a thirst, running back and forth doing that. Hey, we got the right size, but we moved our nut. So, we all know what that means. Do it again. I like that. Now, do not move the nut. Tighten the locking screw back down. Now, on to the next one. You know, I spent more time running back and forth for that stupid wrench than I did working on this thing. Stupid, huh? And it's the same thing there. Put your feeler gauge in, 5 thousandths. Oh, somehow we got a little slack there. Now these nuts, you don't have to turn them very much. It's just a tiny fraction of a turn. Makes all the difference in the world. That's more like it. The upper one, we're going to tighten that one up just a little tiny bit. Once again, it's just a very small, and I mean minute, turn of that nut. Okay. Still don't like that. Want it a little tighter. Too tight, and I'm barely moving that nut, so there we go, perfect. Make sure these are good and snug. And that's it. Now there won't be any more of that crap going on. It'll actually just turn over and start now, every time. Got to put everything back together here. Let's see, what did I do? Aha. And I'm not going to worry about checking it because I know that it's going to work. I have faith. Spark plug back in her. And if you've never done a spark plug before on anything, for the love of God, start it by hand. If you cross thread these things, it is a nightmare. And yes, sometimes it is hard to get your fingers in there and get them to cooperate the way that you want them to. But I've been doing this a while, so now that we got her started, come on off of there, you little sucker. Sometimes that rubber boot in the spark plug socket gets a real good grip, and especially when you got oily, slippery fingers, they're hard to grab. Yeah, see that? Work smarter, not harder. Okay. We're all done with the tools. Now I'll put the spark plug wire back on. Let's fire it up and see how it does. Beautiful. You're very welcome, Tracy, and thank you for letting me borrow it. And I hope you guys subscribe, like, follow along. There's going to be lots more stuff to come. Not just lawnmowers, but yeah, tune in. More to come. Thanks for watching.